what is the yield curve and why is it important? And how many times inverted yield curve predicted a recession? So let me first of all explain what all this means. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and show you a yield curve. So a yield curve basically tells you what the market thinks interest rates are going to be longer term. And the way to find out about a yield curve, and let me show you an example first. So let's look at a random yield curve image. Okay, so this one here, it's tough to see. This is an older one from 2018, I think. And this basically tells you time on this axis, 0 years, 5 years, 30 years, and interest rates, 1%, 4%. And so back in 2018, when this yield curve was made, the market was forecasting rates would go from 1.6%, and then 5 years later, by 2023, rates would be close to 3%, and then 30 years would be 3.2%. Okay. Now, because of COVID and the terrifying economic environment globally, this yield curve has shifted down a lot. And I'll show you where to get the real-time data for this. So what you do is you go to treasury.gov, which is the United States office or government office that tells you what interest rates are. And you can map this yourself as well. So recall I showed you on the x-axis was time, the y-axis was the interest rate. And so as of May 3rd, and I'll talk about the more recent data in a minute because it tells a story. But as of May 3rd, the 1 month yield curve was 0.02%, very, very low. Recall back in 2018 from that chart I showed you, the 1 month yield curve was like 1.6%. Right, so it's a lot lower now, right? Because things are scary. Governments cut interest rates. Then if you look at the 30-year, it's 2.3%. It's higher. Okay, so basically it looks like this, a regular yield curve like the one I showed you. I'll talk about inverted in a second. Now this was from May 3rd. Sorry if my face is covering it. Yeah, so May 3rd, the 1 month was 0.02% and the 30-year was 2.3%. So if we now look at today, or the 26th, this is crazy. But basically, and this might be a typo, it says 0%, or maybe that's 0.0004, right? I've never seen it that low before. Wow. And then here it's 2.27%. So the 30-year went down to 2.27% and on May 3rd, it was 2.3%. It's lower now. Right? So that means the market is pricing in that rates are going to stay low for quite a while. Now, what happens is when rates are really high, sometimes you get what's called an inverted yield curve. And what that means is this. Instead of the yield curve looking like this, it looks like this. Like this, yeah. So people use the yield curve to try to understand where rates are going to be in the future. If you have a mortgage on your house or your apartment, and you haven't called your mortgage broker or the bank to refinance this year, please do it. Please. Because rates are going to go up a lot eventually. Yeah.